Hi everyone, myself Arvahita, Assistant Professor of CSE Department from Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. I'm here to explain a few concepts of the subject CS 8601 Mobile Computing. We are discussing the Unit 2 here. The topic is GSM, that is Global System for Mobile Communication from Mobile Telecommunication Systems. The objective of learning this topic is to be familiar about the global system for mobile communication. Let's see about GSM, that is Global System for Mobile Communication. This GSM is the most successful digital mobile communication system in the world today. It is used by over 800 million people in more than 190 countries. This GSM permits the integration of both the voice and data services and the interworking with existing networks. These services make the network interesting for the customers. This GSM has defined three different categories of services. They are bearer service, teleservice, and supplementary service. First, let's see about bearer service. The GSM specifies different mechanisms for data transmission. The original GSM allowing at the data rates up to 9600 bits per second for non-voice services. The bearer services permit transparent and non-transparent, synchronous or asynchronous data transmission. The transparent bearer services only use the function of a physical layer, that is the layer 1, to transmit the data. These services don't try to recover the lost data in case of, for example, shadowing or interruptions due to handover. The non-transparent bearer services use the protocols of the layer 2, that is the second and the third layer, to implement the error correction and flow control. These services use the transparent bearer services, adding a radio link protocol, that is RLP. This protocol comprises the mechanisms of high-level data link control, that is HDLC, and special selective reject mechanisms to trigger the retransmission of erroneous data. Now let's see about teleservices. This GSM mainly focuses on the voice-oriented teleservices. These comprise encrypted voice transmission, message services, and basic data communication with the terminals known as PSTN or ISDN. The primary goal of this GSM was to provide the high quality digital voice transmission. Special codecs are used, that is codecs may be coder or decoder, are used for voice transmission, while other codecs are used for the transmission of analog data for the communication with the traditional computer modems used in example the fax machines. And another service offered by the GSM is the emergency numbers, as example 100, 108, 101. These are the emergency numbers, and this service is mandatory for all the providers and are free of charge. As we know, these numbers are free of charge. This connection also has the highest priority, possibly preempting all the other connections, and will automatically be set up with the closest emergency center. A useful service for very simple message transfer is the short message service. We simply call it as SMS, which offers a transmission of messages around 160 characters. Sending and receiving of SMS is possible it is also possible during the voice and the data transfer also. So it can be used for serious applications such as displaying the road conditions, email headers or stock codes. So but it also used for transferring the logos, ringtones, horoscope and letters. The successor of this SMS, that is the next enhancement of this SMS, is the enhanced message service, that is EMS, which offers larger size message size and formatted text and the transmission of animated pictures, small images and ringtones in a standardized way. But with this MMS, EMS was hardly used. MMS offers the transmission of larger pictures, that is GIF, that is GIF, JPG, WBMP, short video clips, etc. And it comes with the mobile phones that integrate small cameras. Another non-voice teleservices is a group of 3 fax which is available worldwide. Now let's see about the supplementary services. In addition to the tele and the bearer service, the GSM providers can offer the supplementary services. These services offer various enhancements of the standard telephony service and may vary from the provider to provider. So typically these services are user identification, call redirection or forwarding of ongoing calls, barring of input and outgoing calls, advice of charge, that is called as AOC, etc. The standard ISDN features such as closed user groups and multi-party communication may be available in this supplementary services. So let's see about the GSM architecture. So the figure here shows the GSM architecture, which comprises of three subsystems: RSS, NSS and OSS. So let us see one by one. So the GSM consists of three subsystems: radio subsystem RSS, network and switching subsystem NSS, and the operation subsystem OSS. So first, network switching subsystem, that is NSS. This NSS is responsible for performing the call processing and subscriber related functions. This switching system includes the following functional units. These are the functional units in this NSS: HLR, VLR, AUC, EIR, MSC. So see here in this diagram we can see HLR, VLR, AUC, EIR, OMC. So all these things we can see in the diagram. All are explained here. So what is HLR? HLR is the home location register. So it is a database used for storage and management of subscriptions. HLR stores the permanent data about the subscribers, including a subscriber service profile, location information and activity status. When an individual buys a subscription from the PCS provider, maintains the temporary information about the subscribers that is needed by the MSC in order to service visiting subscribers. Then let's see about the visitor location register. That is, the visitor location register associated to each MSC, that is mobile switching center, is a dynamic database which stores all the important information needed for the mobile station users. Example: IMSI, IMSISDN, HLR address, etc. So if a new mobile station comes into another cell, the VLR is responsible for it copies all the relevant information for this user from the home location register. This hierarchy of the VLR and HLR avoids the frequent home location register updates and long distance signaling of the user information. Some VLR is in existence or capable of managing up to 1 million customers. Okay. Then we see about authentication center. Authentication is authorization. So a unit called the authentication or AUC provides the authentication and encryption parameters that verify the user's identity and ensure the confidentiality of each call. Okay, it verifies whether the call is from the valid user. Then EIR, that is Equipment Identity Register. It is a database that contains the information about the identity of mobile equipment that prevents the calls from the stolen or unauthorized or defective mobile station. That is the Equipment Identity Register. It finds whether it is the correct equipment, that is the mobile station or the handheld device or your mobile phones. Okay. Then Mobile Switching Center, that is MSC. The MSC performs the telephony switching functions of the system. It controls the calls to and from other telephone and data systems. Okay. This is the architecture of GSM. In the radio subsystem, that is RSS, it comprises all the radio specific entities like the mobile stations, base station subsystem, BSS. See, this figure shows here. RSS comprises the mobile station MSS, then BTS is base transceiver station and BSC is base station controller. Okay, it is connected. This connection between the RSS and NSS is via the A interface, and the connection between OSS is via the O interface dashed lines. Okay, then base station subsystem BSS. It comprises of many, this GSM network comprises of many BSS, each controlled by a base station controller, that is BSC. The BSS performs all the functions necessary to maintain radio connections to an MS, coding or decoding of voice, and rate adaptations to and from the wireless network part. Besides the base station controller, the BSS contains the several base transceiver stations, that is BTS. Now let's see about BSC, that is base station controllers. The base station controller provides all the control functions and physical links between the mobile switching center and the base transceiver station. So, it is a high capacity switch that provides the functions such as handover, cell configuration data and control of the radio frequency, that is RF, power levels in the base transceiver station. A number of BSCs are served by an MSC. Then about base transceiver station, that is BTS. This BTS handles the radio interface to the mobile station. So, base transceiver station can form a radio cell or using sectorized antennas. Several, and it is connected to the MS, that is mobile station, via the interface, and to the base station controller via the ABS interface. The interface contains all the mechanisms that is necessary for the wireless transmissions. Okay, the base transceiver station is the radio equipment which contains the transceivers and antennas which is needed for the service in each cell in the network. A group of base transceiver stations are controlled by the base station controller. All the BTS are connected through base station controller. Then in the case of operation and subsystem, that is OSS, it is connected to all the equipment in the switching system and to the base station controller. Implementation of this OMC is called as operation and support system. The OSS is a functional entity from which the network operator monitors and controls the system. Entire system is monitored and controlled by this OSS. The purpose of the OSS is to offer the customer the cost-effective support for centralized, regional and local operational and maintenance activities that are required for the GSM network. All the maintenance things are handled by this OSS, and this OSS provides a network overview and allows the engineers to monitor, diagnose and troubleshoot every aspect of the GSM network. The mobile station, that is MS, consists of the mobile equipment, that is the terminal, what we have, our mobile phones, and a smart card that is called, has the subscriber identity module, that is the SIM card. So, everyone knows a mobile phone has a SIM card. So, that SIM card's full form is subscriber identity module, and our mobile phone is the mobile station, that is MS. The SIM provides the personal mobility so that the user can have the access to the subscribed services irrespective of a specific terminal. By inserting the SIM card into another GSM terminal, the user is able to receive the calls at that terminal and makes the call identified by the International Mobile Equipment Identity, that is IMEI. Okay, all the mobile phones have this IMEI number. Okay, the SIM card contains the International Mobile Subscriber Identity, IMSI, which is used to identify the subscriber to the system, a secret key for the authentication and other informations. The IMEI and the IMSI are independent, thereby allowing the personal mobility. The SIM card may be protected against unauthorized use by the password or personal identity number. Okay. So, these are the questions which could be asked related to this topic, and thank you.